So, welcome everyone. I'm your friendly neighborhood dipshit, and this is another installment of Cooking with a Dipshit. Today I'll be making some spaghetti bolognese in the Italian-American style. So, first off, let me show you some of the ingredients. Uh, we'll start off with onions. Well, I couldn't find two big bulbs of red onions, so we'll have to do with this. We need 2 or 3 carrots depending on the size. Same thing with the celery sticks. We are gonna need some ground pork or beef or whatever the fuck. Also, we are going to need some passata di pomodoro and some regular ass pasta sauce found at basically every supermarket. For seasoning, I'll be using 2 cloves of garlic, some basil, some thyme, and some rosemary, along with salt, pepper, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Also, I've got some oregano left from the chili con carne episode. It should be nice and dried out by now. So, let's begin. Our first task is to chop these onions. But before we do that, we should add some oil to our saucepan. I've got this set up right here. So, this is a saucepan, or rather frying pan. We'll be doing the sauce in this. And this is a small pot full of water. I'll be cooking my pasta in this. Well, we have a bigger sauce for cooking, but I was too lazy to do the dishes, so we'll have to do with this. So, first of all, we'll be cutting up the onions. Cutting red onions is much more easier, since you don't really have to do it blind. These kind of onions, those are a whole different story. So let me just add this to my frying pan. Note that I still haven't started the heat, because I like starting the cooking process with everything inside. One thing that I wanted to put into this was some red wine, but unfortunately we don't really have any at home right now. I know. I didn't drink it. Yeah, I have a bad track record of alcoholism, so I know I'm your number one suspect, but really it wasn't me. Usually I use some kind of Cabernet Sauvignon that goes very well with this. Alright, so garlics and onions are done. Let's do the same with the carrots. First you want to remove both ends. You might want to wash these, and then you would need to peel them. I don't really notice any difference. Anyway, so I'm just gonna chop this up. So this is 1 carrot. I'm just gonna put this into the frying pan. And I'm gonna do the same with the other one. Alright, the celery part is very simple. You need to cut off the leafy parts. Maybe chop them real fine. And when you're done with that, start by cutting strips of celery, and you're gonna chop them up like so. You're gonna just put this into the frying pan with all of the other veggies. I'm actually cooking for 4 people. Myself, my brother, and my parents, so that can explain the amount of stuff I'm using. I'll be back when the veggies are almost done. So, the veggies are almost done. You can tell by looking at the onions. They are starting to turn kind of transparent, but they are still not. So now you would want to put in the meat. If you watched my video on chili con carne, you know what we will do with meat. Also, I found this spatula. It's supposedly clean, so I didn't have to wash it. Yeah. Also, kids, remember, always wash your hands after handling raw meat. So let's just get this into pieces. I know it looks disgusting, but what can you do? So for those who are not familiar with my video on chili con carne, we are going to brown the meat. So just basically cook it till it has no pink left. By the way, I'm doing this on high heat, just so you know. I like to save time like that. Well, the meat is almost done. Just leave it some more time because it's better be safe than sorry. Especially when it comes to food poisoning. Well, this is one of my classmates experienced that, so in case you're wondering, this will not look like vomit. At this point, if I had the wine, I would have poured in about half a cup. It would have given the meat a beautiful purplish color and nice aroma. In case you're wondering why am I using passata and some cheap pasta sauce from basically every other supermarket, this is because I'm going to reduce the sauce twice. Once with the passata and my own seasonings, and then with the commercial pasta sauce. It's about it takes about the same amount of time for this to reduce to desired consistency as our pasta water getting to a boil. So don't forget to stir frequently because this passata has a not very nice habit of burning, and I don't want to wipe the dishes afterwards. So now I'm going to put in my seasonings. First I'm going to chop up my basil. If you want to see how I do it, then I suggest going to my chili con carne video. So I just put in the basil, then the oregano, which I'm going to chop up the same way. Right, let's stir this around a bit, just to make sure nothing is burning. You're going to put in the thyme. Just trust your feelings with it. It cannot really go wrong. And then the rosemary. I'm using dried variants because, well, we've got thyme growing in our garden, but it would suck to find it. Okay, you're gonna stir it in. And then you're gonna put in a coffee spoon of salt. And you're gonna go cycle with the pepper. Yeah, that should be good. Now stir that in. And basically you're gonna wait for the pasta water to boil. Don't take the sauce of the heat, because this is going to reduce pretty nicely, and also the carrots need quite a bit of time to cook. As said in my chili con carne video, we are going to put in the nutmeg and the cinnamon last. So our water is almost boiling. I've got about 400 grams of spaghetti measured out. Even though my mother doesn't eat pasta, she will still eat the sauce. So I'm cooking about 400 grams of pasta for 3 people. You know, that's not a healthy amount, but my father usually takes yesterday's dinner to work. So I think this would be a nice surprise for him. Our water is boiling, so time to put in the pasta. Oh, this is going to be a logistical nightmare. The one thing you shouldn't do is break the pasta. That would give a heart attack to any Italian living in a 10-mile radius of you. I'm going to use some dark magic to put the pasta in. Right, so I use my knife to push in the bits of spaghetti that were sticking out of the water. So, when you put in the pasta, you're going to put in the pasta sauce into your homemade one. Don't forget to get some water to wash out the container that in which the pasta sauce came in. I'm gonna set a timer of 7 minutes. Usually that's enough for my pasta to cook. Yeah, so you've got this pasta sauce and you're gonna stir it in real gently because, well, you don't want this anywhere near your stove. Uncontained, of course. You see, this is how it should look. Or at least in theory, it should look like this. Yeah. So we are going to reduce this to the desired consistency. I'll be back when either the pasta is done or the sauce is at the desired consistency. The pasta is done, and so is the sauce. Usually my timing is spot on. This time isn't an exception. Right, so you want to push the pasta off the heat. And now we are going to put in our cinnamon. Whole load of it. And some of our nutmeg. It's almost done. Let's just stir it around to get everything mixed in. And things should be done. So I'm gonna turn off the heat. And leave it at that. Our last step is to pour in some of the water that the pasta cooked in. That will help the whole sauce to stick better to the pasta. So just pour in some of it. About 1 or 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna mix it around and then I'm gonna dump in the pasta. So there it is. Nice home cooked meal of spaghetti bolognese. Bon appetit.